Okay, we're doing some checkup on some persimmon grafts. I always have trouble saying grafts. Um, but this is a layman's delight from last year. This is just, oh man, this is making my day when I come out and see this much growth coming out. And we're halfway through the month of May. This is just fantastic to see. This is a layman's delight tree. I'll show you what I grafted last year. This stub, this original stick right here, from this point up here, once that part died, down to here, that was the original stub. It was all this size. You can see how much it grew in size whenever the graft union healed. You can see the Z of the whip and tongue that is calloused and healed up nicely. And then this came out of one bud, and you can see last year's growth. And so already, last year we had maybe 8 inches of growth. This year we've already got 16 out of the longest branch here. And lots of other branches that are doing great. This is exactly what you want to see out of a persimmon graft. We're going to go over to one I did last week. And this one is off of a similar size tree, and it is a Yates. I've got several different kinds, but this one is a Yates. The buds are just starting to think about pushing through the parafilm here. You can see the graft union is still good, and as you go down the tree below that graft union, you have all these little growths. And so we are going to rub them off. On persimmons, it is extremely important to come back through and rub off any new growths. It will pop up latent buds right here on the bark, on the trunk, and it will push growth out of, if we can focus here, that little red bump right there. That was a bud popping up. Same thing is going right there. That is a bud popping up. It's gonna just start growing leaves like crazy if we don't take care of it. So we're gonna slick that trunk down. Any new growths, look for latent buds popping up, and that will send all of the energy into this graft union. The tree realizes it has been wounded here, and it wants to grow below that graft union, below that wound. So it's going to throw buds for a while, for weeks and weeks, and then eventually a few months later it'll even be trying to throw a few after it's grown out of here. If you let one go, the tree will stop sending energy to where it has been wounded and will just grow out of one of these other buds. So we want all of the energy going into this one scion of our selected choice, which in this case is Yates. And if you do that, come back through and be diligent, making sure there's no buds popping up all the way to the base, then you will end up with a tree like that in the next year. Very important. You can get by with letting a nurse branch go, or a couple buds popping on pears or even apples. You cannot get by with it on persimmons. You need to come back through and do the aftergraft care at least once a week, preferably every 4 days, through the early summer especially.